explained in our earlier class where we discussed the introductory part of Microsoft Office, we mentioned about all different Office document packages in which we have Microsoft Word, we have PowerPoint, we have Excel. We also informed you that all these applications are in a single folder called Microsoft Office. I'm using Windows 10. Some might be using Windows 7 or Windows 8, but I want to believe that all knows how to look for a particular folder on their system. Now, from my own system, when I click on Windows, I look for Microsoft Office folder files. Now, I have Microsoft Office 2013. So we have different version of Microsoft Office. The most common one is 2007. We have that of 10, we have 13, we have 16, and we have the latest version also. So when you click on this, we'll see all the packages that comes with Microsoft Office installation. We have Microsoft Access, we have Database Compare, we have Excel, info parts, then Office 2010 languages, we have OneDrive, we have OneNote, Outlook, PowerPoint, Publisher, Send to Notes, and so on like that. Even we have Microsoft Word there. So we have different applications there. So it depends on which one you want to open or which one you want to work with. Also, if you look at this, I still have another version of Microsoft Office on my system. This version is version 2007. As I said earlier, that we have different versions. So it depends on how you customize your system. So here I still have 2007, and if you look at what we have there, we will see that we also have all those applications we have in version 2013. Now, I will use version 2013 with us at this training, but there is no major difference between version 2007 and 2013. We have only few differences in which I will try as much as possible to explain that too. Now, let's assume that all these applications are not on your desktop and you are the type that use this application frequently. Then if you ask yourself, how did you put it on your desktop? Like if you look at mine now, I use Microsoft Word frequently. So if you look at it, I have this particular version on my system. And so, but to you might not have that on your system. So how will you put this on your desktop? What you will do is that when you click on window and you click on that particular folder, that's Microsoft Office, and you opened Microsoft Office, you click on the one you want to bring down on the desktop. You right click on it. When you right click on it, we have options. When you look at options, we have more. Then if we have more, we click on what? Open file what? Location. You click on file location. It will open where all those files are. It opens where all those files are. Then from there, you can right click again and click on send to desktop. You click on what? Send to what? To desktop. Immediately you click on send to desktop. If you check your desktop, you will see that that application is there. Now, I mentioned earlier that when you install your Microsoft Office 2000, any of the Office, you will see that it comes with all the packages except you delete them intentionally or unknowingly. When you open the containing folder and you can't see any of the application there, that's when you said this application is not on my system. But immediately you open the folder and you can find it there, that means it's somewhere on your system. It's just left for you to identify the particular location at which you you can find it. And Microsoft Office container, you can always find it under your program file, your local disk, in which I won't explain that. Now that is how to move any of those applications to your what, to your desk, to your desktop. Or otherwise, you can also right click here and click open file location. Let's assume you have Microsoft Office Word on your system before you want to move PowerPoint to the desktop. You can right click and click on open file container, and if you click on this one, it will open the desktop environment. If it opens the desktop environment, so it's not, because this one is not referring to that particular location on your hard disk. This one is just a shortcut. So if you want to refer to the one on your local disk, you have to come to window, go to Microsoft Office, then open the Microsoft Office and open any of the file, and you can open the file container. Now to Microsoft Office Word itself. When you open Microsoft Office Word, there are a lot of things that we open initially, especially Office 2013, Office 2010, and if you are using Office 2016 too. When it's opened, it depends on your configuration. When I say configuration means, if you look at my here, you see my name here and my email address. This is my Microsoft account. You too might have Microsoft account, you might not. And it's not compulsory, but it's good to have account with what? With Microsoft. And at the left side here, you see some recently used document files there that you can click on it. And at this environment, we see different templates. Apart from templates, we see what you call what? Blank documents. We see what we call blank documents. When you click on blank document, it will open the document for you, and in Microsoft Word we call it document. If it is Microsoft Excel, we call it spreadsheet. If it is PowerPoint, we call it slide. But for Word, we call it what? We call it document. Under it, I will explain the environment. What we are looking at is Microsoft Word, and where my cursor is what we call document 1, and this is what we call quick access toolbar, and we have ribbon, we have menus, we have ruler, then we have status bar. Those are the things we explained during the introductory part of the training. So you should go back and check the functions and the meaning of those things. Now, if you look at your file, we have file here. That's one of the major difference between Office 2007 and the latest version. Office 2007 has Office button, not file. But from 2010, 13, we have file. So you should take note of that. If you are using Office 2007, you will see a button there that looks like a window. So we call it Office button. But this one, we call it file. It performs almost the same thing. When you click on it, it will bring other features, other options that you can use to deal with what? With your document. Now from when we click on file, we have this, we have info, we have new, we have open, we have save as, print, share, export, close, account, options. All these things have their separate functions. From our introductory part, we've discussed about new. When we are talking about new, we mean new documents. When you click on it, it means you want to open a new document. You want to open what? A new document. When I click on it, you will see what it will bring for me. It will bring the first page we saw when we opened this package. the template environment, and the blank document, in which you can decide which type of new document you want to open. Is it a blank document or a template? So if it is a blank document, you click on what? Blank document, and that will open for you. Then we have open. Opened, we opened a saved document. The one that you've saved, that's what open we open for you. So you might save it inside your system or on inside cloud, which is called OneDrive. So it makes it easier for us if it is a recent document, because that's the first thing that we come up and show on your screen. Then we have save. Save will allow us to save our documents. At first, when you click on save, save works hand in hand with save as at start. Like when I say at first, which means I've not done anything. That's the first time I'm saving. If I click on save, if you look at what we have here, we have save as, because that's the first time I'm opening it. But initially, after you've saved it, if you click on save, it behaves differently from save as. I think you should take note of that. If you click on save, after you've saved it initially, it behaves differently from what? From save as. That's when what we explained in the introductory manual, that's the difference. You should go back there and check. So when you saved at first, it will ask you where you want to save to. Is it inside cloud, which is OneDrive, or inside your computer? Most time we save inside what? Our computer. But let's assume you are the type that save inside drive. Then you must be connected with what? With internet. When you are connected, then you can click your cloud drive and save inside it. So when you have computer, when you click on computer, then it will ask for which area you want to save to inside your computer, and it will open some recent folder for you. Like now I have my Ocean resume presentation babe, we have desktop, we have complete books, we have what? Document. And you can also browse any particular folder you are looking for. All these you should know that they are inside your what? Inside your computer. And also you too must add a particular location you feel like you want to be saving to. Let's assume you have other drives apart from Microsoft Drive. Let's assume you want to save to Evergreen note, you want to save to other clouds accounts, then you can add them here. But now I want to save inside my desktop. You click on desktop. When you click on desktop, the folder, when you click on desktop, desktop will open. After that, you it will ask you for the location, which is desktop, and apart from desktop, then it will ask for what? For file name. So you will type the name you want to use to save it. We type what? The name you want to use to save it. We call this one example. We call this example. Then the file type, you should take note of that too. The file type, like I have Word document. Now the disadvantages of having Word document is that if I save this document and I send it to someone else, and unfortunately that person did not have Office 2013 or version above 2013. Let's assume the person is using of 2007. The person might not be able to open it. It will tell you that there is an error in the what? In the version. But if your system is well updated, it will open. But if your system is not updated, then it will tell you that the version, your system cannot open that particular file. So to avoid that, because you don't know where the file is going to, you can click and say save as what? Word 1997 to 2003 document. This one, that's the old versions of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office. So any recent or current version can open it. So when you save it like this, there is no major difference between saving it with Microsoft or Word document or Word 1997 to 2003 document. Also, if you want to save it as PDF, then you click on what? On PDF. But if you are using 2007, you might not see PDF there. Those are the difference between Office 2007 and 2010, 2013, because the PDF plugin comes with the version. So if you really install it, you can convert easily to what? To 2000 and to PDF. But if you are using 2007 or old version, you might not be able to convert to PDF easily. So I'm picking 97 to 2003 documents, and I have given it what? My name, then example, then we click on what? We click on save. Now take note of what will happen there. Immediately this title bar will do what? We changed to the name of that particular document. So as time goes on, if I continue typing and I click on save we see that it will look as if it does not have any effect. What that has done is he saved that particular document, so that when the system went go off or it crashed on the way, you were able to call back or recover your file to the earlier stage at which you saved. But if you click on save as, it will open the file initially as if you are saving for the first time. What this means is that, let's assume I want to resave, maybe I want to resave it to my flash or my hard drive, or I want to change the location, or I want to change the name, I want to copy the file and change the name, or you just won't feel like, okay, let me re-edit the name or whatever, so that it will not tamper with the original document. Okay, for example, let's assume you are working in an office and your manager or your boss send a particular file to you that you should edit it, and you don't want to tamper with that boss file, you want to have a copy with you. So what you will do is that you open the file. After open the file, then you will use save as, and you will save it with your own name, so the boss file won't be affected. Any changes, any effect you made won't affect the boss file, unless you reopen it and do it. So you can now pick the location again, then change the file name and other stuffs. That's that on save as. The next one is print. If you want to print, when you click on print, it will bring print property. Then the print property is that the printer name, you can choose the printer name. We have different printers. The default one will be click. May I do print to what? To PDF before I print out. But you can also print any of the printer directly and print. Then we have the number of copies you want to print. If it is one copy, if it is two copies, then here you can select the pages. Then most time you should just leave it at default page. That's what? Print all pages. But let's assume you don't want to print all the pages, you want to print the current page. You click on what? Current page. Or if you don't want to print on current page, you can custom printing. You can type a specific what? Page you want to print. Then you type page 3 to what? To 5. Or you can type page 3 comma page 5 comma 6 comma 9. So it will print page 3, 5, 6 and 9. It's different from if I pick 3 to 9, which means it will print 4 alongside and print other numbers that are omitted initially. Then from here we have print one-sided. So there are some printers that you can print, that it will print immediately to the back of the what? Of the document. So it won't bring it out. It will print the first page on the front page, and it will print the second page on the back page. But most times some printers are not like that. But if you are working with office printer, you can you can do that, but all these business center printer might not have that unless you are dealing with standard printer. Then we have collated. You can collate depending on what you want to do, but I won't talk much on that. Then we can decide whether we need a portrait or an orientation or a landscape. That's what we call what orientation. Is it that portrait? Portrait is what we have. If I click a landscape, you should see the difference. I think we should when we get to page setup, we will see that clearly. Then you can print, you can pick which paper you want. Is it A4, A3, legal paper, or and so on and so forth. Then you can set your margin too. Your margin, all these things I will explain that later. So then the next one is share. When you click on share, you can share this particular document to your cloud. Maybe you are the one that works from home, or you are the one that your boss just wants you to send that particular file immediately to his mail or to office mail. So you can share it, you can share it with people, you can share it via mail. But at this time, you will have synchronized your boss mail to your mail to your system so that it can send easily. You just make sure that you are connected with the what, with the internet. Or you can also send it to your blog if you are the one that has blog. So but I won't be talking much on that too. Then you can also export. You can export as PDF or any other file, but most times, I said earlier that PDF plugs comes with what, Office 2013, so you can export to what, to PDF. In not in latest in earlier version, you might not see export there. Then if you want to close that document, you click on close. Then we have account. When you click on account, that's why I said it's necessary. Sometimes it's not compulsory, but you should register with what, Microsoft. It will tell you which account is using this particular what, particular file. You too, you can register with what, with Microsoft Office. Then the next area is option, and this option is where all the settings about this particular document are. If you want to set like your username, we have this, so you can change it depending on how you want it. Then this you might not need, but if you don't know, if you don't have idea on how to do it, please and please, I beg of you, don't tamper with this option, else it might scatter your settings. Just leave it as default settings. But let me just show you some things that can happen using your options. Like now, if I want to change, I have a white background, I can change it to what, light gray, and I click on what, OK. You see what will happen. My window environment has changed. Like if I come back and I picked dark gray and I click OK, if you look at it, it has changed. So there are some that has more than, if you look at this environment, you see things has changed. So there are some that have dark black colors. You see some Microsoft with different colors, but me, I have three colors here. I have white, light gray, and what, and dark gray. So I return mine to white. I don't know which one you will do, what you will like. Now if you come to display, now if you look at all what we have here, it's because sometimes we want them to display or you want it to happen like that, but there are a lot of options there. You should just read them before you click on it. You can now click on it to see their effect. It says show white space between pages in print layout. When we move further, when you read the advanced level, you understand it, but you can also read on your own to understand more. You should read. Always show this formatting mark on the what, on the screen. So which one do you want it to show? Is it paragraph or paragraph mark, hidden text, and so on and so forth? Then print option, print drawing created in Word, print background color and what, image. print document what property, print hidden text. So depending on what you want, then you can click on it, because all these things are very powerful. If an error occur or somebody have tampered with this and he wants to cancel it, if you don't have the idea that you can do that in option, it will look so frustrating and terrible. But we won't discuss much on that too. We have proving. We have proving ignore word in what in uppercase. Let's assume you want to check spelling. Like if some of you have noticed that if you type and you type in capital letter, even if it is wrong, it won't tell you that it is wrong. But if you type in lowercase, which is small letter, immediately it will underline it. This is where you can set it. Like mine now, you see ignore word in what in uppercase. I can click out. Immediately I check out. So if I type and I type in capital letter, which is uppercase, and it's wrong, it will underline it. It will recognize it that it's a wrong spelling. Then if you look at it, say ignore words that what contains number. So it depends on what you want to do, what you want to do, or how you want to configure your what your document, so that it can work for you. Then here you say check spelling as you type, mark grammar error as you type, frequently confused word. I check grammar with what spelling, show readable word statistic. It depends on how you want it. I have grammar only. You can have grammar and what and style, and we have different what different settings. If you scroll down to here, you will see a lot of what a lot of hide spelling error in the document only, hide grammar error in the what in this document only. That does not. Then we have save. Under save we have option, we have default environment. Now let me explain this. Now if you look at it, if you want to save file in this format, so automatically it will pick this format to save for you. But let's assume you are the type that you save with 97 to 2003 version. You can click here and pick which version you want it to be saving by default, so you can click it. Then we have auto recovery, in such a way that let's assume you don't remember to save frequently and you are the type that will have worked a lot and they took off lights, you won't be able to recover that thing again. But there's what you call auto recovery in Microsoft Word. In any of the office packages, there's what we call auto recovery. So like mine now, there will be auto recover every 30 minutes. That means it will auto save. It will help me save that particular document every what every 10 minutes. You can reduce the timing, you can also increase the timing. And also some of us, when there is auto recovery, don't know where it's saved to. If Microsoft Office did not load it to what document recovery, if you don't have this particular environment on your system, you might find it difficult to see. This is where you can get the location where that particular document is saving to, because it won't save on your on this document, it will save on a separate file. So you should take note of that. Then we have don't show the backstage when opening or saving a file, and other other settings. I have default local file location, in such a way that if I don't pick any location to save, if I say it should save, it will go straight to my to my document. Now we have language. Here you can also select which language you are using. Are you using American English or UK English, depending on which English you are using. And also to some Islamic brothers that we feel like they want to type in Arabic, here you can select or pick Arabic language, so that when you are typing, it types Arabic. So you click here, you pick which of the languages you want to type with, and when you click that language, you click on what when you click that language, you click on what add, and it will add to the system. But during installation, if your installation is not complete, some might not install, but if your installation is complete, then it will install successfully. But I won't bother to install now because I'm not using that. But you can try that on your system. If you have any issue or any complaint, you can let me know. Then we have advanced stage. This advanced stage, we have a lot of options. Just if you look at what we are doing now, everything we are doing is just click and click OK. Immediately you click OK, it will take effect immediately. So you can try it, you can give everything a try and see how it works. I won't do everything for us, but I just want us to know that there is this environment that you can set all what is happening on your on your document, so you can be in full control of that particular document, not that the document will be controlling you. So we have customized ribbon, how you want your ribbon to look like, what you want there. You can remove some certain element if you don't need them, so you can also add, you can join. So depending on how you want it, then we have quick access toolbar, what we have here. So like now, if you look at what I have here, I have saved, I have undo and redo. If you look at it, these are the three things I have there. Let's assume I want to add another thing. I want to add copy. I click on copy, I will click on add. Immediately I click OK, you will see it there immediately. And if I don't need anyone, I click on what? I click on it again, I click on what? Remove. That's all. That does not mean it's not on the system, but it's not on my Office quick access toolbar. So you should take note of that. Then we have add-ins. These add-ins will allow us to insert some plugins, but that will be on at advanced level. There's some certain things you can do with Microsoft Office, but we might not need that at the moment. Then we have Trust Center, in which you can, if you have internet, you can link up with them, and that is that on option. Then after that, you click on what? OK. But at this juncture, me, I'm not clicking on what? OK. I want to leave it the way it is. Then the last thing there is info. If you click on info, it will tell you more about your what? Your document, the size of the document, the number of pages you have, the author of the document, and so on and so forth. Then we have compatibility mode, we have protect document, inspect document, then version of what? The version of that particular what? Document. After you are done with any of this, or if you are no more, doing anything there, you click on the arrow to return it back to where you are. So those are the areas, those are the things that you should take note of. You should get used to that. That's what will make you a professional in using Microsoft Office, so that you won't get yourself confused or frustrated. Then also, as I said earlier, this Office ribbon, this menu bar, this title bar, this quick access toolbar, this document recovery side, then we have our status bar, then we have our Zoom environment. So you should take note of that too. And this ruler, this is what is called scroll bar. So other things will be.
You just click on File, and this is where there are some of the general aspects of Word. Now, right above File here, and by the way, you notice these tabs here. You have the Home tab, the Insert tab, the Design, and notice as soon as you open any of those, you have a new set of tools. This is the ribbon with a set of tools for each tab. The contextual tools, actually, it's something else that shows up later when you're manipulating a document, and then a certain set of tools shows up depending on what you're doing. So the important thing here is you have the file, or you have this whole thing here in the top. It's referred to as the ribbon, the Office ribbon. The Office ribbon has different tabs with different sets and subsets of tools. On each set or subset of tools, notice there are different sections here. So for example, there is the font section, the paragraph section, the style section, editing, and so on. And notice if you want to show the menus like in the older versions of Office, for manipulating, let's say, the font or something like that, anything related to a specific group, notice that there's a little arrow in here, and you can click on that expanding arrow, and it will show you different settings or a whole dialog box like in the previous versions of Word. So Like I mentioned, we have the different tabs. Right above the tabs here on the ribbon, you have this quick launch toolbar. The quick launch toolbar is basically just a set of tools that you can pick and choose and store them or park them in there for easier access for you. So if you, for example, are constantly inserting pictures in your document, and instead of having to go to the Insert tab and you click on Pictures, you just simply right click, choose Add to Quick Access Toolbar, and now it is up here. So now if I'm typing my document here and so on, and I want to insert a picture, I can simply click on this icon. So the Quick Access Toolbar is just a set of tools that you park for you to reuse or easy access it. Then on the bottom right here, notice you can zoom, make the document larger or smaller. And then we have the various layout options. So you have the web layout, you have the print layout, and then you have the reading mode as well. Reading mode has been enhanced more in this version of Word, but it's designed so that you can read a document much easier than before, or much easier than a traditional document. Then on the bottom left here, you have the number of words in this document, and you can click on it and it'll tell you what the words, how many pages, how many characters, and all kinds of statistics about your document. And then under page 1 out of 1 here, you can choose to display the navigation such as headings, results, and so on. So before I finish this short session here on getting around in Microsoft Word and understanding the interface here, the idea is that the common stuff that you do in a document, all the specific features, the common features in a document, or tasks that you perform, are usually under the Home tab. So you start with Home. You start creating your document, typing along. Then, once you have your document, you start typing with it, and you can tinker with the fonts, you can tinker with the paragraph, the indentations, and all that type of thing. Then you can modify the styles and so on. You can do some plain text replacements. Once you have done all of these basic stuff, such as copying and pasting as well, then you want to enhance the document, and then you can insert other stuff in this document. So you are enhancing, you're taking it a step further. In this case, you utilize the tools that are located under the Insert tab. In this case, you could insert a cover page, blank pages. You could insert tables, pictures from online, different shapes, smart art, using smart art and so on, different other apps, and connect it to stuff from Wikipedia or other online apps, or online video. And by the way, this is a new feature in Word 2013, the hyperlinks and so on. So basically all of these options you're enhancing. Then you move on to the design, the changing of the layout of this document by applying different color themes, by applying different effects and that type of thing. Then you move into the page layout. So you're kind of now formatting. This could be a brochure, but you want to format it a different way. You want to change the margins, you want to change the indentations and all that type of thing. You can go also into references. Let's say it's a research document or a quote or proposal that you're sending, and you want to create a table of contents and so on. So you go to the various tabs. Then you can do a mail merge, and you can review it, finalize. You're coming to the conclusion of your project by reviewing, checking it for grammar, spelling, and so on. And then finally you're viewing it like in reading mode, in comparing it and that type of thing in different split windows and so on. So the idea is that you start with the basic stuff on the Home tab. As you go make progress in your document and you're enhancing it, that's when you go through the different other tabs and you apply the different features from there. Now, one thing that I'd like you to keep in mind is that the best way, instead of reading a big textbook or reading and viewing videos online for hours and hours, the best way to learn about a program or an application is by simply clicking on the different tools that are available. Tinker around with it and see what it can do. If you're not sure, just press cancel. It's not going to break, it's not going to mess up your computer. And that's the best thing that you can do to learn a program. It's very similar to like going in your garage and looking through all the tools that you have. And then if you know what tools you have and where they are, whenever you have to do a project, whenever down the road, you don't have to run to the store to buy it, but you have it right there. So you know what you have, you know where it is, and then you can figure it out how to do it from there. So this is briefly the interface on using Word. We have not started on any functionality at this point, but just to get you acquainted with the interface.